Hello and welcome to Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film On Becoming a Guinea Fowl, directed by Rungano Nyoni. So this is an interesting film. The whole thing feels rather subdued given the very serious subject matter. But at the same time, the film is kind of strangely compelling. Right from the opening scene, I found it engaging. It starts off with drums, then we get music, then we see a car driving towards us, and it cuts to a woman inside the car, and Sansa. She's wearing this strange silver headdress, something which we've already seen on the poster advertising the film. As she drives along, she sees her dead uncle's body lying on the road. Now, none of this is very dramatic. It's all very matter of fact, even though a dead relative is just lying in the road. And in fact, this is the tone of the whole film. But there's something about the way that this film has been shot and edited that makes it really compelling. I always find it hard to put my finger on this quality. It's a certain magic in filmmaking that either is there or it isn't. And in this film, it's just beautifully made, which makes it interesting. Now, there's no real mystery in the story, or there's no real narrative unfolding here. The premise is really clear. Uncle Fred has sexually abused many of the young women in the family, yet no one in the family is ready to address this. It's all covered up. Everyone's proclaiming what a great man Fred was and grieving for his death. It's an interesting study of dysfunctional families. The only adults in the film are the young women. The men are selfish and sexist, and they just expect the women to serve them. Her father is totally unreliable, and the women in the film are over-emotional, over-dramatic in their grieving. There's no support for these young women at all. There's very little emotion expressed in this film. The young women that have been abused just have to suppress trauma and keep quiet. And this is really typified by Sansa, the main character. She expresses hardly any emotion at all through the film. We know from the beginning of the film that she's perhaps a little bit quirky. She's a modern woman, she's going to parties dressed in strange outfits, but back with her family, she just completely conforms to the role required of her. Every time she goes near a man, they ask her to serve a plate of food. The women fuss and put emotional pressure on her. She's just got no chance to be. This is the kind of whole film, really. It's a sad observation on gender, parenting and dysfunctional families, but there's always a sense of humour in the way the film has been made. It never made me laugh out loud, but the behaviour of many of the people often is comical, especially as we know that this wasn't a very nice man. This is just people doing the done thing, and no one questions this. There's just no authenticity in this world. The film feels really creative and original, and I do like the way it's made. I haven't seen her other film, I'm Not a Witch, but I will certainly be looking this up. The whole film does have a really quirky feel to it. And then we have this motif of the guinea fowl, which appears at several points throughout the film. We never fully understand what the significance of this is. It's an ambiguity that really works well and gives us a sense of the surreal. I found this really satisfying. It made the closing scene very powerful. The finding of a voice to say that this is not okay, but it's a voice that won't be heard, but perhaps it does go some way towards personal healing. This is a slow film, but I always found it interesting to look at. It didn't leave me with a big emotional impact, but I did keep thinking about the film, and I am curious about how to interpret it. I definitely would recommend this film. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.